big time.
Yeah, it's more when it comes down to is just like how does that convey that message out there? Especially it's like domestic abuse and all that bad. Are you kidding me? Seriously.
I hate to say it, but every time we put on a Ravens jersey or any kind of Ravens gear, we're saying that we are for
Ray Rice. Well,
and we get behind Ray Rice, especially if you wear his jersey now, and that you might be for a little.
Well, that's
I hate to say
his castle.
That's just why I'm wearing Joe Flacco's jersey. All I know he likes to do is go down to tropical paradises on vacation. Oh, but he's not throwing to his receiver. Shut up. He earned his vacation.
Yeah.
But so no, it's
tell the receiver to get open. For
it's absolutely just such a touchy, feely, crappy scenario. I can't begin to figure out how this is going. But for the time being, I'm retiring my Ray Rice jersey and just sticking with Joe Flacco's. But on that note, if you're actually into some form of sadomasochism, hey, Brian, what's new in the movie front?
Speaking of
dude, I was so hoping I was going before you just so I could use that line to reference that trailer.
I was hoping you would both go before me because I've never been this underprepared before. But you know what I say?
At the last minute.
I'm going to wing it. Do it live! We'll do it live! Yeah, so breaking news anytime it feels like breaking. I'm Josh Spiegel, 98rock98online.com.
Spiegel! We don't have time for that.
Anyway, that's for our Baltimore listeners out there anyway, though. Yes, breaking news out there from ComicCon all the way in San Diego, California there, guys. Kelly. Huh? Kelly. While Bradley said this, so we did promise you a Comic-Con episode. It will happen. It's just because of the timing of when we record. So I will say this. Thursday, it is Thursday when we record this show. We'll start off with Paramount Studios. They didn't make a big stink about like what they were going to bring out there for we knew Ninja Turtles and probably a few other things, but not really a lot to offer anyway. But all of a sudden, so needless to say, not many people show up on a Thursday for Comic-Con. It's just like all the hype is getting built for Saturday, right? Because that's the big day, because we know Marvel or maybe even Warner Brothers is going to have something up their sleeves, hopefully. Anyway, though, Paramount decided to just be like, oh, you know what? We're going to have, and we're going to do a little presentation for Interstellar. It comes out in November. Pretty cool. Yeah. We're gonna have Matthew McConaughey come out, and we're gonna have him say, "All right, I'm going to space, y'all." Okay.
Was it going to take his shirt off and play the bongos for a while?
I don't know, but he talked a little bit about why he got involved. He said he got a call from his agent saying that Nolan wanted to meet with him. He spent about 3 hours with Nolan just talking about everything but Interstellar, and a week later he received the script. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. He talks a little bit about his character and stuff like that. His character is going to be a pilot engineer, widow, father of 2 children. It's going to be a dramatic character, kind of driven movie or whatever. And that's what we would expect.
No more romantic comedies for that, man. Thank God.
We don't need another one of those bad ones with Jennifer Garner. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, too. Or Uma Thurman or whoever he did. I don't know. Anyway,
I forget.
He said on working with Nolan, he's always out for original. Everything he has to do, it has to be original. McConaughey says Nolan also works by his instincts. They move fast. They would do 2 or 3 takes max. He always says it's by far the most ambitious film Mr. Nolan has ever directed. I have no idea that Nolan did so many few takes, and that astounds me, especially when it's for a massive blockbuster. Then all of a sudden, what happened? Oh, I got to cue this. I haven't done this in a while.
The 5th dentist caved, and now everyone approves eating Trident after meals.
Special guest arrived there, James.
Nolan himself?
Nolan himself. Woo-hoo! What? What? Hashtag what? Anyway, Christopher Nolan decided to come in. He said that I came to see what all the fuss was about, and judging by the crowd, I'm not disappointed. He says he's always been a huge fan of sci-fi. He said that when growing up, being an astronaut was the highest ambition anyone could have, and pushing out further into the galaxy was inevitable. He liked the idea that we're on the cusp of a brand new era of exploration. One of his goals was trying to recreate the reality of what this space mission will be. I'm not going to tell you the technical challenge are because I want you to come and see the movie, but he says he's always wanted to give the actors as much reality as possible in being involved in this kind of journey. Notes that a film that's about a journey through the stars has to be an experience for the audience. IMAX is a big part of trying to accomplish that. You need to... You need the biggest canvas possible. I think no film is finished until it goes to the audience. So he's not sure what Interstellar is to him yet, but is about what it means to be human and our place in the universe. He said some influences that he had was 2001, Space Odyssey, Star Wars, and Blade Runner, even though too. Knowing what we've seen from Interstellar, have you guys checked out the trailers for it?
I think you have. About that.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm in on it.
Yeah.
I'm saying I've said this before. I'm a little hesitant about it, though, at the same time, though, too. I don't know.
I can see that, yeah.
I'm not saying that maybe after The Dark Knight Rises, but we bantered a lot about that or whatever. Yeah. Still stand by.
How can you go forward from this?
Yes. How do you? All right. I mean, he just left one of the biggest trilogies in cinematic history, probably. Well, I think it's safe to say that. Anybody who doesn't agree, can argue that with me later. What is your next project? And when picking his next project, I think he had to be very picky. And I think there's obviously something that attracted him to this project. He could do anything else he wanted to. Right. It seems like this might be a passion project. I'm not saying it's on the lines of Inception, that was his baby. I mean, that was all him, I think. And I hope that he brings something like that, whether you liked Inception or not. The way I think I like him just because he's character driven. He knows how to do action, but not too much action to take away from a story. He always tells a great story, and how he uses these IMAX cameras. I'm just, I will pay that extra. I would pay $20 to go to the DC or the Virginia, whatever it is, Space Center, wherever they have the IMAX theater, and I would go see it in that just because I strongly believe in the future of IMAX movies or whatever. I think it beats out 3D each and every time or whatever. So enough about that, though. Moving on, a couple other things that are coming out of ComicCon. It hasn't really been officially released. We haven't seen too much out of the booths yet or whatever. But a couple Ben Affleck Batman suits were revealed this afternoon or today or whatever. The actual Batfleck suit is on display at Comic-Con.
Interesting.
We've seen pictures of this before, but we actually see that it is indeed. What they have is a picture of the black cowl, the shorter ears on it. The face mask itself is a little different, I guess, compared to the other ones. But we posted it on the Instagram, so definitely take a look at that. And then you see the cape. It's actually, to describe it, guys, it's connected how we talked about how the Michael Keaton was.
Oh, okay.
It's very similar to that. So it's going to be interesting. How's he going to turn his head without turning his whole body? Whatever.
Again, the same way that Michael Keaton did it, and it created those dynamic looks to him. Mm-hmm. So they would make it a little bit more comicized, shall we say? Mm-hmm. But it's
This has a very comic book
comic book look, which is going to create those exaggerated poses, shall we say?
Yeah, and I mean, it's everybody keeps calling him the sad Batman. So, but I really like it. We also
depressed Batman. He went to a sad place, had a couple of whiskey sours,
It was all those times. It's all those times J-Lo left him hanging at the middle of the night. We also got another picture that showed a close up of the Cape Crusader. Almost looked like he was taking a selfie there. Anyway, it's to be determined if the remainder of the costume is going to be gray and black. It's assumed it's possibly going to be the Frank Miller type of Dark Knight Returns costume. Everybody's kind of saying, well, why isn't it blue and black or whatever? Be hold out. It could still be gray, a little bit of gray in there. I'd like to see it be a little bit of a change up or whatever. I think I'm open for a change, after everything that Nolan did with his Batman series. So, but anyway, though, check it out on our Bantering Bohs Instagram page for that. Speaking of the DC universe, we've talked before about how Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, as the WWE fans still like to call him, he was supposed to be playing, or always in talks with DC Universe, to play a character on there. He might have given away a big, hefty clue as what he's going to play.
Just say the word.
Yeah. In an interview with Total Film, Dwayne Johnson teased what the character in the DC Universe will play. He quoted, he said, I'm out of it tonight. I will say this. There's a character out there, and do you know what The Rock is cooking? That we're going to announce very soon that I'm going to play, and I'll just say this. This character has the power of Superman. He can throw down. Just say the word. That's all I'm going to say. Bradley, whatever could he be talking about?
Shazam!
This is not to be confused, James, with what's the one from
Kazam.
Yeah.
No, not Shaquille O'Neal. Oh god.
No,
Shazam, Mr. Marvel.
Oh yeah, Bradley, what do you know about Shazam?
Actually, very little. I need to go back on my news.
Okay, all right. So he's got pretty much. DC. He's like, wasn't he like a kid? And then I should have done more research about this, but he can all of a sudden change into this guy, the Shazam or whatever.
Yeah, but just saying the word.
Yeah, but he's got Superman powers, James, and he's it's like something with a lightning bolt strikes him.
Yeah, he has the red suit and the lightning bolt. There with the cape as well.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow cape. So
yeah.
Same powers as Superman, stuff like that. He's been in a couple of animated series, I think, as well. A few times, I have to check. But
it was rumored that he could play...
It's Dwayne Johnson as a superhero, let's be honest.
He is a superhero. Minus
Look at
Hercules.
him,
Anyway, though, screw you.
In 3D!
Screw you, Brett Ratner.
We got two in there.
Yeah, really, I had to. It was rumored that The Rock was possibly going to play the Green Lantern.
I honestly thought you were going to say The Rock is going to be cooking.
What?
The way you were about to say that, Rose, it sounded like I was like, oh, God.
I should have done that before, and I didn't. No. Damn it.
The pun. It was there.
Yeah. Anyway, though, this is very interesting, though. If you can get one of the biggest or top 5 money-making celebrities out there in your universe that you're building, everybody knows what's coming, possibly on this weekend or whatever, or we're hoping that, if he says that an announcement's coming very soon... the week of Comic-Con, come on,
Where's the
do you think he's going to be on stage there, Bradley?
Oh, they have to. Yeah.
Do you think Gal Gadot is going to be there, James?
I can only hope.
I do hope she better be in that costume. I'm telling you.
Didn't they say originally it was that there was the idea that he could have done Green Lantern and done that, but that was already had been done, so it's like they couldn't.
Everything's been done before.
It's been done. It's just that's already been taken. That's its own entity, so they didn't want to touch that. So
this would give him his own thing that's never really been done before, or whatever, and put the Rock, stamp of approval on it, I guess. Anyway, though, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, we'll know more in the next 48 hours. I hope. Yeah. Anyway, so if we knew something, we will post it on our website and Twitter. Okay, guys, we've talked about it before. Sinister Six. We talked how it might or might not happen, given what happened with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Well, the franchise, Sony has officially laid out the would-be future of the Spider-Man reboot, saying that, it's directed by Drew Goddard. The spin-off Sinister Six will come out on November 11th, 2016. It's the same slot where Walt Disney's had much luck with their Thor movie last year. Meanwhile, Amazing Spider-Man was originally set for June 2016. Now will drop sometime in 2018. What do you guys think about this? Did anybody see the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No.
Did you care to?
Kind of wanted to, but after everything I heard, I was like, I'd rather keep the dollar.
I saved my money. We've talked about it. Just I've never been a fan of this. I've never been a fan of this new Spider-Man universe. I guess because it was always too soon for me.
I guess it's just the way it was portrayed and stuff. Sure, Tobey Maguire wasn't the best, but it was a little bit better. I mean,
number 2 was one of the best.
It's probably the best
comic book movies.
It wasn't terrible.
It's just
I didn't mind the first one, but it wasn't like, oh my god.
It's like, I have to see it going on. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah. In light of what's happened with Spider-Man 2, I think it's good for Sony to just not say, oh, no, you know what? Spider-Man 2 didn't do as well as we had hoped, even though it made a boatload of money. But instead of just dropping it or whatever, they're going to say, you know what? Let's fix this and just continue with our original plan, but we're just going to really get things going here. They're not going to be in quite the rush, I would say. I mean, 2016 is still a little bit of time away. We got a good
we got time,
2.5
work
years.
On the script, get on the cast, get all that together.
Uh-huh.
So take your
Who
time.
knows what can happen in 2 years or whatever. You never know. I mean, we saw what happened with something like Ant-Man, for example, or whatever. you just never know what's going to happen.
True.
So,
keep your mindset right. But again, we're all thinking about what do the fans want?
It's them sticking to their guns and be like, okay, it wasn't what we had hoped, but you know what? We're going to keep moving on, and we're going to keep the fans. We're going to give them an all-villain movie, and something that you really never seen before, though, too. So as promised. So I'm in for that, though. Meanwhile, at Marvel Studios,
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Meanwhile,
Not now. Go, okay.
Okay.
meanwhile, at Kevin Feege's office.
Nine, 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 nine.
Sorry.